Hello, Padraig. Thank you for agreeing to take part in the Respect Project's local community hero programme. I would like to start off by asking you some questions about your childhood, if that's okay.
No problem.
Where did you grow up and what was your childhood like?
Well, I was born, obviously, in Newry, and my childhood started in Barcroft Park. And then at a young age, we moved up into the Church Street direction. That's where we're currently living at the minute. My childhood was it started off like anybody's childhood from a young age, the toddler carry on and all that. And it was more towards my middle childhood and my teenage years. Probably my childhood would have changed. Not for the worst, but certainly for barriers put in place.
What age was that around?
Well, it's obvious here. I have a condition called muscular dystrophy. I could probably touch on that a wee bit more, but that I was diagnosed with that when I was 3. But it's a muscle wasting disease, so it doesn't actually come into effect later on in life and over your teenage years and that. So I was diagnosed with when I was 3. I could still walk until I was about 11, 12 years of age, and then I started relying on a wheelchair more and more.
And what was it like in school?
School for me was quite different at a young age. I went to a primary school where the principal actually didn't want me to be in the school, more so just because of his own ignorance towards somebody who had a disability. He didn't think somebody with a disability would have fitted in that school because they didn't have the correct support or anything in place, which to me and my family was completely wrong. Because it was a mainstream school and it was mainstream education that I needed. It's a physical disability I had; it wasn't an intellectual disability. School life for primary school would have been quite tough that way. Like one day when I was in primary school, I was walking and running about the next day, and an electric wheelchair appeared in the school, and it was kind of like, "What's this?" And what's happening. That was for the rest of them. So that could have been hard at times, but having resilience and stuff, that's where your resilience starts from a young age. When I went to secondary school, then was completely a lot different for me. I went to St Mark's High School in Warrenpoint, and I was in mainstream education there, although they were better equipped for people with physical or intellectual disabilities. I was given the opportunity in St Mark's the way yourself would be given an opportunity in secondary school, so I was very appreciative of that, and for the access to mainstream education in St Mark's High School.
And did any of the teachers treat you differently?
No, never once in St Mark's. St Mark's was a fantastic school. The same for St Patrick's. The teachers in St Patrick's were quite good, and they were willing to learn as we went along. With different things like how if the disability affected you or something like that in primary school, that meant you needed that wee bit extra support. The teachers were always forthcoming in that. Can't say the same for the principal at the time in that place, but it all worked out well.
And what hobbies and interests did you have as a child?
Hobbies and interests when I was younger was pretty much the same as most young people. I think we've all went through the stage of fast cars and all that carry on. So when I was growing up, I hung around with people who were all into their model cars or were into their petrol cars and all. So we would have had a great interest in that. And then interest in hobbies was just basically hanging about with your friends. We would have hung about the Manse Park a lot, and it would have been walking to the shop in the summer, going out meeting your friends, going home, getting your dinner, going back out, walking the roads, kind of thing. The other hobbies and interests that I had, I was very much community orientated when I was younger as well. Very much involved with Threeways Community Centre and youth programmes down in there, and availing of the opportunities that we were presented with there. So that to me would have been the main interest and hobbies that I had.
Is it okay if you could tell me more about your disability and what it is?
Yeah, no problem. So as I alluded to there earlier, Jude, I have, it's probably something that you don't know, you've come up through Threeways with me as well from a very young age, and it's probably something that you probably would never have even known, or a lot of people would know. I have a condition, like I said there earlier and alluded to, called muscular dystrophy. But my type of muscle, there's all different types of muscular dystrophy. Mine actually hasn't been fully diagnosed as to what it is. You have to be 100% sure that the type of muscular dystrophy that you have is what you have before they will actually pay for the tests to be done to find that's all out. They're 99% sure what mine is, but until they're that 100% sure, it'll not be given a proper diagnosis of muscular dystrophy. So muscular dystrophy is basically a muscle weakening disease, and it basically shuts down the muscles in your body, all the muscles. So I'm fortunate enough that mine is very, very slow, but I have witnessed any amount of young people and had a lot of friends, very close friends, who had it worse than me, who are sadly no longer here. And out of that group of us that probably started in and around 8 of us, I'm actually the only one left. So it was hard to witness that growing up. And when you're a young person, when you're, when you're adolescent years and you're seeing, when you're 17, 18 and seeing your 18, 18-year-old friends dying from muscular dystrophy, it can be very, very tough.
And what would you say were the biggest challenges you had to face as a child whenever you became reliant on the wheelchair at a young age?
Very mixed. My challenges were really mixed. When I was growing up, when you're given a diagnosis of something like muscular dystrophy at a young age, you have no other choice but to be resilient when you're younger. Young people are resilient from a young age. If I ended up with a disability now, at 32 years of age, it would be a lot harder for me than when I was 3 years of age, or when I was 7 years of age, or 9 years of age. Like I said earlier, I was out walking and running about one day, and then all of a sudden I was out in the street one day in a wheelchair. I obviously could still stand. That to me was like a barrier that I probably faced growing up, because that limited me then to certain things that I was able to do before with my friends that I no longer could do. So that in itself, probably at that time, probably would have played in my head. That would have been a barrier as well. The instant regret and the instant thing of why, probably played around in your head. A lot of barriers then that I would have faced in my younger years would have been being told, oh, you could never go to university. I was told that. You could never drive. I was told that. You'd never be able to do certain things for yourself and all. And my motto with that was always, watch me. I'm not going to have anybody tell me that I can't do this and I can't do that. So I learned to drive. I drive at the minute. I went to university. I'm holding down a full-time job, what I absolutely love. And I'm delivering different events and programs in my community and giving back to my community for the opportunities that I got out of it. So if a barrier is put in my place, I always challenge myself and say, watch me, I am going to overcome this. The only thing that I'm going to turn around and say to somebody, watch me, is if they tell me you can't walk. Obviously, you know that. So I'm not going to turn around and say, watch me, because I'll just fall flat on my face.
Yeah.
So that there was a lot of barriers being told you can't do that. A lot of barriers as well. When you have a physical disability, you are so reliant on your needs of transport. So a big barrier that I had was wheelchair problems from a very young age. From the day I got a wheelchair, there was always an issue. They always used to tell me that a wheelchair wasn't designed to be suitable for Padraig Harte, because years ago I used to tow couches and everything for a bonfire growing up, or roll tractor tires down hills and all. That's what my youth was. So yeah, my wheelchairs weren't built for that. So a barrier was when they broke. You were confined to the house. So when everybody else was out running the streets, when all your friends were playing, you were stuck in the house. You couldn't get anywhere. And even today, that still happens. I think as a society, we don't have a grasp of the importance that wheelchairs are to certain people. The importance of making sure that when they're fixed, they need to be replaced or repaired there and then. Not within telling you it could be 3 or 4 weeks before you get a part. That was a big barrier. It's still a barrier. Other barriers probably that I faced, as I said, was when my friends were doing different things that I couldn't. Fortunately, I had a very good friend base growing up, and any barriers that were put in my place, they overcame them for me as much as I overcame them, and I can never thank any of them enough for that. Like years ago when we were playing tennis or rounders, we were splitting the teams and all that carry on that young people would do. I always went into the team where the best hitter was, with the racket and the ball, because I knew they would get it the furthest. So there was a wee bit of cheating going on that way. But any barriers that I've overcome in my life have been supported by not only my friends but my family as well. So a lot of barriers, and probably a lot of barriers more to come.
And you're heavily involved in the local community. Could you tell me more about your involvement with Threeways and what inspired you to get involved with them?
Yeah, so I started Threeways like yourself. You're a wee member of our club, and I went when it started back up. Oh God, about 22 years ago. And when it started back up as a youth club, I went to the youth club there, and then Sean McKevitt, who a lot of people will probably know as well as a youth worker from the area, started a personal social development program, and he approached us and asked the group of us, will we get involved? So we got involved, and we were given opportunities about organising our own projects and delivering workshops and taking part in workshops that were based entirely on our needs and what we wanted. So seeing what Sean was doing kind of gave us a grasp of, right, we want to do something here. You know, we've got so much out of it. We want to give so much back. So when you start doing that and when you start getting involved in your local community, you know, it catches you. It does catch you, it grasps you, and it sucks you in actually wanting to do more and providing for your community. When you come from a community, probably that, you know, as close knit as the community that I come from, and you have that community support, it inspires you to go on further and deliver initiatives and programs for your community.
What do you enjoy most about being involved with the Threeways?
Making that difference. You know, we don't go there. You don't get involved in the community where if you are getting involved in the community to be thanked and say how great and all you are, it's not for you. Yeah. Community is about making a difference for your community. It's about making young people better. It's about equipping young people to gain new skills. It's about allowing young people, you know, to develop themselves personally or to receive opportunities that their family life, their financial situation mightn't allow. And it's the same for older people as well. And middle-aged people, it's providing opportunities for them that maybe their financial situations mightn't allow. It's for providing a facility, you know, where it can be a community hub that's making a real difference. So that would be it for me.
Do you ever find it like stressful or anything?
You tell me. You should know. You heard me a lot. It is. People think, you know, like running community centres and all is easy. It's not. It's a full-time job in itself. Nobody sees the background work that goes into it for when you're organising events, the risk assessments, the policy updates, the plan for funding, the funding returns, you know, the financial side of things, the auditing every year, arranging AGMs, doing the insurance. So you have to be really, really committed. It is stressful, but it's rewarding at the same time, because when you have groups like the groups that I have delivered over the years, and I'll use an example of our youth project just recently, we had a celebration and evaluation evening after the time that they've spent with us. They're all now going on to university and to employment. So when you're seeing the progress of where they've come from, wee tiny tots, like you were when you started with us, into the adults that they have now become and going on to study law or to study medicine, that's why.
That's the reward.
That's the reward.
Yeah. Would you encourage others to get involved in the local community?
Absolutely. Your community is your community. And when something happens in a community, it's your community that rally around you. So giving back to your community after getting so much out of it is what I would encourage anybody to do. And that's what we encourage the likes of yourselves to do, in the hope that you will go off to the likes of university or go and upskill yourselves in different ways that you want and you have interest in, and come back to your community and give back to your community what you've got out of it. Do you remember that?
I will, yeah. And you also work with a local mental health charity here in Newry called PIPS Hope and Support. Could you tell me more about the work of the charity and what your job is?
Yeah, so like you've mentioned there, I work for PIPS Hope and Support as their fundraising, marketing and communications manager. So PIPS Hope and Support is a local suicide prevention charity. So we provide immediate therapy to anybody with suicidal thoughts, high levels of anxiety, poor mental health, or if they've sadly been bereaved by suicide. So we have offices based in both Newry and Lurgan, and we cover the whole of Newry, Morning Down, and the Southern Trust and the Upper Bann areas. Yep. So we provide professional counsellors who are best placed to support the needs of individuals who need to come in and talk about their emotional well-being. And we help provide different coping skills and all that they can help get through each day. My role within PIPS is completely different from the counselling aspect. My role is to ensure, you know, that the organisation is financially stable, that they can continue to provide the essential services that we're continuing to deliver on a daily basis. And it's about getting the message out there as well. So a lot of my work is about flying the flag of PIPs and getting the name of PIPs out there, getting the services out there, and encouraging those who need to reach out, and the importance of reaching out and not staying silent and not struggling by yourself, but relying on us to provide that support for you.
Do you rely solely on charity for money?
On fundraising?
Yeah.
So the biggest percentage of calls coming into our organisation would be through fundraising, and we're very reliant on fundraising. We also are fortunate enough that we do receive funding, part funding through the Public Health Agency, but that's for our training aspect and part of our bereavement service. So any funds that are raised through the generosity of the community and business sectors and not through donations goes directly into our crisis counselling services and the overheads of the organisation. So any fundraising that's done pays for our counsellors to deliver that therapy to individuals and to families who have been bereaved.
If someone watching this interview is concerned about their mental health, what advice would you give them?
Simply reach out. I know it's easy to say, and I know we hear that quite a lot about reaching out, but the hardest step is always reaching out. And there's a number of ways that people can do it. So if they're not comfortable with dropping in and talking face to face, there is that option to pick up the phone and call and have that conversation over the phone. There's also the opportunity to drop in, and there's the opportunity to go onto our website, the PIPS website, and find out more information and actually refer themselves through our website, where they don't need to speak to anybody, but they can put the details in. It's very important that people reach out. It's very important that people talk, and it's only when you talk, that saying, a problem shared is a problem halved. It is true.
Yeah.
And as somebody who works in PIPS and is very passionate about the work that PIPS does in our community, I will always fly the flag of PIPS and encourage people that at every opportunity that you need to reach out for that help. You
mentioned earlier about the fundraising role you have within PIPS. If someone is interested in fundraising on behalf of PIPS, what could they do, and how would this money help the work of PIPS?
So there's a number of ways people can get involved with fundraising, to be honest, Jude. So we would organise a number of events throughout the year. We organise the likes of skydives, the likes of runs, the likes of a Santa colour run. So it would be more just keeping up to date through our social media or our website. All our events are posted on it. Or if there was a group or something that was interested, they can organise their own event. PIPS has been generously supported by Respect Project in the past as well, and we're very grateful for that. There was a men's group that or fundraised over £8,000 for us through the Respect Project, which was absolutely fantastic. So there's all things like that happens in the community, and if anybody was interested in fundraising for us, they can get in touch with the office. If they have an idea, they can put the idea to us. There's any amount of support that we can provide in the logistics of organising an event, and we would only be too happy to have the community or individual support with any fundraising.
Who would you say is the biggest influence in your life, and why?
The biggest influence in my life? That is a tricky one. That's probably something that I've never actually thought of, but the biggest influence actually, now that I think about it, would be my family. My family have always pushed me on, to go big and do what you want, and don't let anybody tell you that you can't do this. Or when I was growing up, it was at times it was hard, where if I fail, it wasn't a matter like a normal able-bodied person just to jump back up and run away on. It took time. And some people might find it harsh, but I had a family. I had a brother and sisters who, if I failed, would have stood there to wake it up. And that's not them being ignorant or anything like that. That was them saying to me, "You can do this yourself. You have the strength to, the will or the mindset to do it." And they would have stood there to I done it. So I got a lot of resilience growing up, and that's from them, and from friends as well, and other family members. So I would definitely say my immediate family are my biggest influence.
Do they do any charity work in the community?
They would. So if I was working events for PIPS and all, they can be quite involved with it, and helping out and volunteering and that on at different things. My sister of mine came up through Threeways and that as well, and has give back to it. My mother was on the committee in Threeways. My father was on the committee in Threeways as well. So Threeways is a registered charity. So there would have been charitable work like that there. And then as I was growing up, there was a local muscular dystrophy support group. So they would have been very heavily involved with that, with supporting local families who have been affected by muscular dystrophy as well. So yeah, we all have in different ways.
Yeah. And what was the best advice you were ever given?
If somebody tells you you can't do it, they watch me. And then one thing that resonates with me is I had a very, 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 very close friend who had muscular dystrophy, and his wit was just second to none. And anytime anybody ever complained to him or anything, his motto was always "Life's tough, just get on with it." And that's a motto and something that will stick with me probably to the day I die.
And what are your future aspirations?
Future aspirations are probably just to continue what I'm doing. I'm quite comfortable in the life that I have at the minute, just home life, work life. I like doing my community stuff. I like doing my job with Pips, and I like spending time with wee nephews and also seeing them grow up. So my aspirations would be for them more than it would be for me, to see them succeed in everything that they want to do, and be there supporting them at every opportunity that I can.
To finish off our interview and to maybe help other young people interested in getting involved in youth or charity work, what advice would you give them?
Dip your toe in the water, go for it, try it out. If it's something that you're thinking about, get involved in your local community, get involved in your local charity. It does make a difference. People think that if they're getting involved, they're just turning up and volunteering at that. It's more than that. They are making a lasting impact. They're helping people without even realising that they're helping people. So I would definitely say try it out.
Thank you for allowing me this opportunity to learn more about you and your life. You're truly an inspiration to us all.